Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the 3 things that you need within your productivity system in order to stay organized. So I'm starting to prep myself for 2026, which means that this is the time where I will start to experiment with different methods to see how I am going to organize and flow and keep everything together for the next year. And as I am figuring different things out, I wanted to talk to you about the 3 things that you need within your system as you are thinking through your next year as well. So I have my planner and my 2 notebooks here, and we are going to dive into how I use each one of them, because each one of them serve a very specific purpose within my productivity system, and they really help me process in different ways. So I'm going to start with the one that I talk about the most, and that is my Tom 90 planner, which is the one planner that I have within my system that helps me to organize my entire life. I currently have 4 planners within this system, and this planner is specifically to help me to organize everything. So each section in this planner is very specific to help me to organize a specific area of my life. The first one is to help me to organize my schedule, and this is where I will mark off where I need to be, what time I need to be there, what is going on throughout the week. I will add my top tasks at the very top of the planner, and then I will write down my entire schedule. I usually like to time block my day because it does help me to stay on track and stay on time. But in this planner, I can see where I need to be and the top things that I need to do throughout the week. And so this one helps me to organize my schedule. The second planner I have in my system is my to-do planner, and this one helps me to more manage my long to-do list. So because I have so many different areas in my life, I'm a wife, a mom, and a caregiver for my parents, so I have a lot of family things that I have to add in here. I also am the executive pastor of our church, so I have a lot of church to-dos that I have to list in here, and I run the organized money, which means that I also have work to-dos like social media, and all of that can't fit within my weekly hourly planner because I only have so much space to write down different things. So the additional tasks that I need to complete, the things that I just need to get out of my head, I will write down. Now, it does not mean that everything that I write down in this particular planner gets done on that specific day. A lot of times I will have X's to let myself know that I did not do that task and I need to move it to somewhere else. But putting it in this planner helps me to have a spot where I can go to and just see if I did a brain dump and I just needed to list everything out. This will help me to make sure that I don't lose any information or any lists that I have jotted down throughout my day. But once again, this one is for me to organize. It's going to help me to organize the list of things, all of my to-dos, all of my tasks throughout the week. The third planner that I have in here is my faith planner. Now, my faith planner is the planner that I use for Bible study, for devotionals, for sermon study. This is the one I'm going to flip to on a Sunday morning when I am jotting down notes from the sermon that's being preached. All of that is going to go in here. So I consider this one my personal development planner because I am constantly trying to get better in the Word. I do host a lot of Bible studies at my church, and so this helps me to process my personal thoughts so that when it's time for me to teach, I have an organized spot where I have thought through everything that I possibly could want to say, and I am more prepared to teach. So these were my Bible studies for the month of September. I am currently studying the story of Nehemiah, so that one will probably roll over into the month of October. But this planner helps me to organize my faith. I am thinking through my Bible study, my personal development, making sure that I am reading the things that I want to read and that I'm staying on top of my faith. And so that is how I use this planner. I always keep this one within my system. Every time I take it out of my system, I find myself not reading my Bible as much as I would like. So I do keep this one within my Tom 90 planner. And the fourth planner that I currently have in here to organize my life is my money. So I will use my budget planner in order to help me to organize all of my expenses, all of my bills. I will jot down down different things and check them off as I pay them. But this is the planner that really helps me to stay on top of our money. I also have an expense tracker in the back here, so I am able to mark down all of the transactions that have happened throughout the month. But this is the fourth one that really helps me to organize. So my Tom 90 planner is really the place where I am organizing everything. It gives me structure. It helps me to see everything that's kind of happening for the month or for the week. So the first thing that you need to have within your system is a spot for organization. And like I said, that's this planner. It's where I will keep everything organized and stored so that if I need to reflect back on anything, I can come right back to this one book and it's going to tell me everything that's going on in my life. However, there is a step before you start to organize, and that is a way to process. So how I am currently processing everything that's going on throughout my day is with my daily planner. Now, every now and then I will add my daily planner within my Tom 90 system. However, I am currently experimenting with taking it out and keeping it as a separate planner so that I am able to focus in on just what's going on today. So the difference between using my daily planner and my weekly planner is my weekly planner is really going to tell me everything that's going on throughout the week. It's going to tell me where I need to be, what I need to do, my top tasks, but it's for multiple days throughout the entire week. However, my daily planner is where I can focus in on what's just going on today. I can process what tasks can I actually get done. I have more time within my schedule. My weekly planner only goes up until 10 p.m. However, my daily planner goes all the way until 3 a.m. Now, I don't usually work that late. I don't usually need that much time, but I do like having it because every now and then I will have a late night where I might go to bed around 12 p.m. and I am doing something or trying to catch up on some type of work. And so this planner really does help me to kind of manage and keep track of how often that happens so I don't go overboard. I am a recovering workaholic, so this planner really does help me to stay on top of that to make sure that I am not working too much. But the one thing that I love about having a daily planner is it is a space for you to process. So I will write down my schedule just like I would within my weekly planner, but I have more space here to actually jot down more tasks than I would within my weekly planner. So within my weekly planner, as you can see, I might be able to get like 4 or 5 tasks within this box, but within my daily planner, I can add all tasks here and I can add additional tasks if I need to at the bottom here. So this is about 7 and then I can do an additional 3 or 4. So we can get about 10 tasks on this sheet instead of the 4 or 5 that I could do within my weekly planner. The other things I can keep track of is what I am eating in more detail, and I will write down all of my meals for the day, and I am also keeping up with my habits. Now, I can do some of this within my weekly planner, like sometimes I will jot down what I ate for breakfast or what I ate for dinner, but I can't put in all of my snacks and lunch and all of those things because I just don't have enough space. And the other thing that I like to do within this planner is to write down a scripture of the day, something that I can look at throughout the day that's going to keep me motivated and focused on what I am trying to do. So this daily planner is where I am processing. I am processing all the things that are happening throughout the day. I am adding in my meals. I am thinking through everything that I might need to do, and I can adjust really well within my daily planner. So I am always adding in additional tasks. I'm taking out things when I realize I am unable to do them. I am rescheduling. All of that is happening within my daily planner. Sometimes I don't have the space within my weekly planner in order to do this, but I do have it within my daily planner. But how my daily planner helps me is, like I said, it is a place that helps me to process. So instead of thinking through everything that's happening for the week, I am only focused in on today. Sometimes I can get very overwhelmed by everything that's going on throughout the week, and it can kind of keep me stuck where I just don't end up doing anything. But when I break it down and I'm processing within my daily planner, it helps me to focus on the task at hand. What is the current task that I need to do, and make sure that I am just working on that. So right now I'm calling this one my daily notebook or my processing notebook, and the very first section that I have in here is my daily sheets. And this isn't a full daily planner because I do not have the calendar in here, but I do have my plan your day sheets where I can just jot down everything everything that is happening for a specific day. The other things I have pulled from my home notebook, and that is my habit tracker, where I can process all of the habits that I have completed for a particular day. I also have my meal planner in here, because if we are eating out, I will jot down what we ate, how much we spent. If we go to the grocery store, I will also mark it on here as well. This one is really more about my food budget than it is about what I am eating. This helps me to really keep track of how much money we have spent throughout the week on food. But I will jot down what we ate, how much we spent here, and I will also add in additional groceries that I might need throughout the week. But once again, this is a daily planner. I am processing as I go. So I'm just jotting things down as they come up, and then as soon as we go to the store, I can pull out this list and I can make sure that I pick these things up. The next one I have in here is my health tracker, and my health tracker is where I am marking down how I am sleeping, my current weight for the week, and my workouts. Once again, since it's a daily planner, I am going into a little bit more detail of what's going on throughout my day, and this is not just focused in on work. I am focused in on what I am eating, my overall health, my habits. It is a more detailed view of my overall well-being. And my health tracker is pretty new to my system. It wasn't even in my home notebook at the beginning of the year. I just added this one in toward the middle of the year. I do have it as an individual insert if you are interested in this one, but I believe all of the other inserts in here are a part of my home notebook. I just pulled them out and put them together in here. And the last section I have in here is my home cleaning, and this is my daily cleaning throughout the day. So as you notice, everything that's in this notebook, it is a space for me to process or to focus on what is going on for today, only today. We're not thinking through the entire week. I am not trying to focus on all of the things that I have to do. I am really focused on the current day, because I believe it helps you to process and to focus and not to get overwhelmed by all of the things that are going on. But even with this notebook, when I am processing something, let's say something happens throughout the day and I do need to organize it or do something further with it, it will move from this notebook over to my planner where I can organize it. So not everything needs to be organized. Sometimes I'm just processing, or I'm just jotting something down just for that specific moment. But if it is something that needs to last a little bit longer, it's going to happen toward the end of the week or in the next month. I will move it from here into my planner so that I can make sure I am keeping track of it. And a lot of times if a task goes on here and it doesn't get done, and I realize I am going to have to move it into another week or another month, I will move it over into my to-do planner. I will jot it down here, because I know when I am planning my next week or my next month, this is the planner that I'm going to look at in order to see what needs to roll over into the very next week. But with this one, as I'm processing things throughout the day, as we are just focused on the task at hand, as I am just kind of getting things done, I will use my daily planner in order to just mark down what has already happened. So this one is way more of a plan as you go. I don't really pre-plan in this one. I am just planning as things come up. I'm jotting different things down just so I can keep track of it on a particular day. So you need a spot to organize, you need a spot to process, and the last thing that you need is a spot to capture. So I've talked about my brainstorming notebook in the past. We have done a bunch of different videos on it, but my brainstorming notebook is the space where I am going to capture, where I am going to write down all of the things that are just kind of randomly going on throughout my day. Many times it's scripts, it's just things that I've thought of for a particular video. Other times it's just random notes, like I was reading something on Lot's wife and I just decided to jot it down right here, mainly because I didn't have time to make it all pretty and neat and bring out all of my stickers. So I just wrote it down here, and then a lot of times I will transfer this over into my faith planner, or it just might stay here. It just depends on what I decide to do with that information later on. I have random notes about cleaning my ice maker in here and different presentations that I was working on. I'm hosting a women's prayer brunch and I was writing down notes from that particular meeting, but this is my messy notebook. This is the space where I could just jot down random things as they are coming up. But you need a space where you can capture. You need a space where you can just jot down any and everything so that you're not looking for little pieces of paper or backs of envelopes where you wrote something down because you didn't want to put it in your planner yet. Many of the things that are in here is just like a one-time note, and I might only need it for maybe 5 minutes, but I will write it down in here. And then if I need to organize it further, it will go into my planner. So my capture notebook and my processing notebook are the two things that I'm using throughout my day in order to kind of process and think through different things and capture and just write different things down. A lot of the notes will go into this notebook, and then a lot of the additional things like my habits, my cleaning, my daily planning will go into here. And then when it's time to organize everything, it will go into my planner. So those are the 3 areas of my productivity system. Now, many times in the past, I will have all 3 of these within this one spot. I will have a place to process, I will have a place to capture, and I will have all of my organization. However, I have been currently experimenting with separating them out to see if it helps me overall with my focus. I still feel like sometimes I will get overwhelmed by just looking at the things within my planner. So that's why we experiment. That's why we try different things out to see how they work for us. But no matter how you do it, no matter if you have it in one book or you decide to separate different parts out, the 3 things that you need within your system is a place to capture, a place to process, and a place to organize. So guys, let me know if this video has helped you. Let me know how your planning process is currently going. How's your system working out for you? Are you feeling good about your system? Are you excited for 2026? I would love to hear from you, and I'll see you all in my next video. Until then, keep organizing your life so that you can achieve your dreams. Bye guys.